Retrobotics.
Okay, hello and welcome to Retrobotics. It's been not quite as long as it has been for some of the other videos, but today we're here to talk about Food Fight.
Isn't it gorgeous?
It is now, and it wasn't always that way, because we're taking a trip down memory lane today to a pickup of last year that has taken quite a bit to come around and make a video of. So today we're going to tell the story about this machine, Food Fight, and some others that were involved with it. And
how we rescued them.
that we rescued.
Rescued from a horrible, dilapidated house that was disgusting. You wouldn't want to walk in it. And now look, it's gorgeous, it's clean, and it's pristine in our arcade.
Yeah, we're just gonna focus on that it's not how it was.
Yeah.
So let's talk a little bit about Food Fight. Food Fight is one of 3 games developed by General Computer Corporation, GCC, for Atari. It was released in 1983. It was not designed in-house, as I said, and it had a completely radically different PCB design than anything Atari had done before. It was Atari's first game with a 68,000 processor, and it was just laid out really weird. So how did it come to be? Who was GCC? GCC was founded by Doug McRae, John Tycho, and Kevin Curran at MIT. These were 3 people there who had been routing machines on campus, but they had noticed that their revenues dipped after a while compared to new machines that they would put out. And to solve that problem, they bought a Genrad 6502 emulator and started hacking machines. They had created for Missile Command a kit called Super Missile Attack, which would increase the difficulty and make it feel like a new game for people. And they incorporated under the name GCC and sold 1,000 of these machines before, or 1,000 of these kits before Atari caught wind. And Atari threatened to sue them. GCC did sue Atari, and Atari countersued. And ultimately, Atari saw a different way out of this legal battle. They contracted GCC to make 3 games for Atari, and in exchange stopped making kits without manufacturer approval, forcing GCC to reveal to Midway the kit that they had been developing for Pac-Man called Crazy Auto. That little kit ended up becoming Miss Pac-Man, one of the most successful games of all time, but they still had to make 3 games for Atari. So the first one they came up with was Food Fight. And then they did come up with 2 more, Quantum, which was a vector game, and Nightmare, an unreleased prototype which was based on heavily modified Food Fight hardware that they had come up with. So, Food Fight. Anyway, back to Food Fight. In Food Fight, you play as Charlie Chuck. The game's objective is to avoid the 4 chefs, which have the names Oscar, Angelo, Jacques, and Zorba. And you are trying to eat the ice cream cone on the left side of the screen while avoiding them and flinging food and dodging food flung at you. So, all foods except for the watermelon are limited in supply, and with each passing level, the game gets faster. So fast that eventually it's literally impossible, and there's nothing you can do. So there are only 125 total levels in the game, but I think nobody really gets past 80 because it just becomes run as fast as you can for the cone, nothing else is possible. The chefs will spray all the food as soon as they get over it. So yeah, it's also notable for being the first game that introduced a instant replay feature that GCC come up with. If you have a particularly close call or do something really cool during the level, the machine will play it back set to music. It's a really fun little addition and a pretty cool source of new technology that Food Fight had come up with. It was also notable for its high degree of cabinet artistry with the bespoke cabinet design. There were actually 2 revisions of artwork for the game, one with Charlie Chuck with the solid red shirt, which appears on the marquee, the bezel, and the control panel overlay, and one where he has a striped shirt. The striped shirt Charlie seemed to be earlier production Food Fight machines, but ours is a later one, so late it actually is beyond the total number of machines that Atari was said to have built in their production notes. I believe they say they built 1951 machines, and ours is serial 1966. No idea how that happened. The PCB, as mentioned before, is different. I mean, you take a look at this and you take a look at any of the other Atari PCBs at the time, they're laid out differently. In Food Fight, the ROM is in the smack dab center of the board and the processor is along the edge, whereas pretty much the opposite is true for every other Atari game I can think of. So it seems like Atari just let them do whatever they wanted, and this is what they came up with, which I think is pretty awesome. So it's a general overview of what Food Fight is, but how did we end up with this machine? And that is a pretty cool story as well. It's one of 16 machines that Charlie G, Overtime Arcade, and Dillweed and I pulled out of an abandoned house / arcade in West Virginia. We personally took 3 games back, and this is our first ever arcade raid. So I think that is pretty fun. So how did this happen? This story begins, as probably most stories don't, with a Bosconian. I had seen on Reddit a photo of a abandoned Bosconian in a restaurant somewhere out in the middle of nowhere, and I really love a good game of GeoGuessr, so I geolocated where this thing was, based on the landscape that I could see out the side of the photo, and I posted, oh yeah, I found where this thing is. It's in Dakota somewhere, go find it, on the Overtime Discord, and I thought nothing of it. I just thought it was funny. And Dillweed messages me and it's like, so you want to find a challenge for me and Charlie? There's a stash in West Virginia somewhere. And I go, what stash? Because Lock and Chase, Food Fight, Battle Zone, probably about 15 others. You have my curiosity. Now you have my attention. So what happens here is he sends me a YouTube video. Somebody had broken into this building and shown a whole bunch of machines in absolutely decrepit condition, just lying around, and nobody knows where it was. The guy who posted the video never said, and people had asked, but he never responded. So we know that somewhere in West Virginia there are a whole bunch of games. How do you find it? Well, the video, being inside the building, didn't really reveal much. Outside the window, you could see there was a railroad. There was a telephone pole with a number on it. There was greenery, lots of trees, a trailer. Not a lot to go on. Certainly not an address. But undaunted, I spent quite a while working this problem until eventually I hit upon the railway as the ultimate thing that I could use to find this building. Problem, there are a lot of railways in West Virginia, but luckily this one had a railway crossing. And I realized that there's a good database of railways out there, so off to work I went, writing a program that would find this place for me. So I keyed in everything I could find out about this particular crossing, what angle the road crossed the railroad tracks, was there a crossbuck, was there not, where approximately did I think it could be, and set the program to spit out GPS coordinates for me to look at. And I think it nailed it in the first 20 tries. I had made a little crappy PowerPoint map to figure out what I thought this place would look like from the air, and lo and behold, I got a match. It was very exciting. Then the next problem came. We didn't want a Little Sweden situation. For those who were not aware of Little Sweden, go look up the arcade blog post about the Sundance saga on K-Love. We wanted to do this the right way. So the first step was figure out who owns this house and all the machines inside. And then the second step would be, are there still machines there? So we looked it up on property registration and found that it was actually owned by the town that it was in. It had fallen into the ownership of the town itself 20 years ago. And it had just been sitting there since then. So contact the town, called up the mayor. And the mayor was actually pretty receptive. It took a little while, but he went down there himself and took photos of the games and said, well, these are still here. And I think that was like May or something, May or June of 2023. And it took until September almost to nail down a deal that we could buy all the machines, come down there, load it up, get a weekend to do it. Once we had that deal, we went that weekend, just drive on down and to get the machines. And it was a time, we were not prepared for what we were about to find. So we arrive at the raid. It is the promised day. We have agreed on a time and place to go get these machines. We have loaded up our trailer and we are driving 4.5 or 5 hours out
to meet the governor.
to meet the mayor of this little town in West Virginia. I don't think we were prepared for what we encountered when we arrived.
I don't think so either. I think it was a day I will never forget. And
not in a good way.
Not in a good way. I would say it ended positively, right? We have this beautiful game that Liam has restored and made it gorgeous. But it was a lot of work.
Yeah, no, it was game singular. This beautiful game that we restored. There were many games in there. In total, we pulled 16 machines out, and there were more in the original video, but some of them were missing when we arrived.
Yeah.
We had divvied up based on what we saw in the video games for each of us. And of the ones that I was trying to find, what was it? Wizards of War was gone. The Gyrus was gone, and the Bisconian were gone, and a Space Zap that Dillweed wanted was also gone. Copper Thieves had gotten in since that video was made and destroyed everything. Every single monitor was necked, except for Kangaroo and the Battlezone Cabaret. All the wiring harnesses were stolen. Most of the PCBs were not in the cabinets, although some of them we found later on the floor. Food Fight's PCB, of course, was missing. It was really gross.
I know. We were going to cut to some video just to show you how disgusting and just like my skin was crawling walking through this space.
Yeah, it was just something else. Luckily, the mayor gave us a broom.
Yeah.
We could try to like shovel out a way to move the games from the piles of random detritus just living on the floor.
The thing. I'm a person of action. I was told, Sam, lovely wife, can you help me get these games? And I'm like, yes, husband, I love you so much. I will enter hell and go there and come back for you because I love you. But I was there to get in and get out. It was an operation of, okay, let's extract the games and no funny business. And I'm here with 3 guys who love games a lot, which is probably most of you. And I appreciate it. I also love games, okay? But if you're in a disgusting space, I just don't want to be there. And they're like, oh my God, let's look under more things and see if we can find a few more boards. And I'm like, guys, what's our primary objective? Get these games out the door and stop being in this building as soon as humanly possible. Anyways, we had a differing of opinion in the, I was like all business. I had the PPE, personal protective equipment. I was like, putting my mask on, putting my goggles on, had boots, had a full jumpsuit so nothing could touch me. I was ready. And I was like, let's keep this shit going. We eventually got done. But it was hours of just like, and then we only brought home 3 games.
Yeah, we brought home the Food Fight, a Jungle King. There were 2 Jungle King there. But we only brought home 1. Do you want to say why?
Yeah, I'm like looking at the Jungle King, the second one, because I think Dillweed was getting the first Jungle King, and then we're like, oh, I guess because all these, like, we only wanted a few games, and because most of the games we wanted were just not there, we're like, I guess we could bring home some different ones, maybe sell them or something. But I'm looking at this Jungle King, and I put my flashlight on, and I'm like, what is that at the bottom of this Jungle King? And I'm like, that looks like a spine. I was like, oh, it's an animal carcass. That's exciting. Please don't bring this in my house. I was like, Liam, I was like, I don't think Jungle King is not that good of a game.
That cabinet was also covered in moths.
Yeah, oh my God, yeah, some of the cabinets you would like open and it would just be like a wave of insects flying out and I couldn't handle it. I had to, at a certain point, I was like, okay, if we're dilly-dallying too much, I'm going to be on the exterior operation. So, like, people can get it out of the house, and I can help get them to the cars and inside the trailers and load it. Because I was like, I do not want to search. I don't want to do like a deep search instead of I'm a tree
Because I was
search.
crawling around, because Food Fight's PCB was missing, and we found the PCBs for pretty much every other game. So I was just crawling around and underneath things, like, looking for this PCB. And we did find an extra PCB for a game that wasn't even there. We found an extra Centipede PCB, but we never did find the Food Fight PCB. I guess whoever was in there stealing the other games really wanted bits of Food Cut because they pried the marquee out with a crowbar, but who knows?
It made no sense. I was like, why would these copper thieves want some of this wire? Like, really?
They
I don't
were.
know.
It was funny. They would snip the wiring harness right before the connectors.
Yeah.
You're just like, you could have just unplugged it, man. You didn't have to just cut it.
It was mayhem.
But there were some surprises. The asteroids that was in there turned out to be a sonic asteroids, which is like a Spanish asteroids. That was pretty cool. And then there was the Space Firebird Cabaret that went home with Dillweed. In all, we went home with the Centipede, the Food Fight, and one of the Jungle Kings, the Jungle King and a half, because we stripped out some parts of it, of which we only kept the Food Fight. The Centipede did not make it, and the Jungle King was traded. Charlie went home with a Thief, Enigma 2, NATO Defense, the Battlezone Cabaret, the Sonic Asteroids, and Space Invaders Deluxe. And Dillweed went home with a Mispack Mini, the Space Firebird, a Thief, another Thief, Lock and Chase, I believe he's got that working now. A Kangaroo, I believe he's got that working now. And a Battlezone Upright that he traded away, and I believe that is also working. So there are other survivors from this raid. But it was crazy. I really can't thank the mayor enough for helping us out and being willing to let us buy the machines and go there and actually go and get these things. It was a really cool experience. Our first real arcade raid.
I know. I can't express how excited Liam was. I mean, just like the length of time it took to organize all this, it
was
would be
months
of every week being like, oh, I'm waiting on the mayor to get back, or like figuring out what to do, or finding the place. And then finally doing it. I know that it was like on your bucket list of life to do an arcade raid, and now we can check it off. Our Valentine's Day, our Valentine's Day like Asteroids Deluxe was a little bit like of a sprinkle of a, not really a raid.
We got two really beautiful condition games out of abandoned houses in West Virginia. Who knew? Yeah,
I've now done one, and maybe I don't need to do another. I don't know. I think it's me. I think I just can't handle places that are that gross. They just. Like, I don't understand how you can stand there and not be just like, feel like you need to get out.
It's the games.
You're a little too, they're too gorgeous. They're the sirens pulling you into the deep.
So, speaking of gorgeous games, let's go over actually bringing this thing back from the dead. Okay, cabinet tour time. This is the final version of Food Fight. So we'll start from the top, front to back, and see where we go. So this is actually from the Centipede that we brought home from the raid, this top bracket. It was repainted and added on. This is an original glass Food Fight marquee. Note it's got the striped shirt Charlie instead of the solid shirt Charlie. But, whatever. Seems like there were two different versions of Charlie Chuck in the artwork. This is the original bezel for the machine. This is also the original control panel that was on there when we got it, but I think this is a replacement, possibly, early on in this machine's life, because it has the striped shirt, whereas everywhere else on the artwork we have the solid shirt Charlie that's consistent with the earlier Food Fight machines. The joystick is a replacement from Atari. The original sticks that Food Fight shipped from had a stainless steel handle and had a slightly weaker plastic, but realizing that players were absolutely annihilating these joysticks by cranking them hard, Atari sent out these replacements when people requested them. So it's got the nicer harder plastic to survive people cranking it. Coin door, not original to the game. I think the coin door that was on here was too damaged to save. So this is actually one from the ill-fated Road Blaster cockpit that we got, and repainted it, sanded it down, removed all the random stuff on it, and it came out pretty nice. Lights up, everything is as you would want. The artwork on the front came out really well as well, but just a ton of simple green. You can see on the side too. The artwork, just minus a few little spots, came out beautifully. It is such a gorgeous art package. I love how they cut the cabinet to match the artwork for the pie on top and for the food on the side. But let's take a look inside and see what we can see. So let's see if we can get some light. Or, yeah, this is fine. So we've got our PCB cage, and this is the original EMI shield. This is UR 1966 of the 1951 cabinets that were said to have been produced by Atari. We have the original service panel in there and our coin box. This awesome blue powder-coated power supply brick came from a member on the Overtime Arcade Discord who was extremely generous in supplying me with that to finish off this build. The wiring harness, made that because I could not find one to buy. So very pleased with that. It ended up working, and I ended up making a couple more for people on KLOV who were also looking for food fight harnessing. So all the original colors to match what Atari had done. So I actually used a Dig Dug to make this happen, a Dig Dug harness. That's the original AR as well. That was left in the cabinet for whatever reason. It took the PCB but left the AR. Took the power brick, but there you go. It was missing the back door, but I made a new one, so all was good there. As you can see our 1966 again on the back cover plate. And there's a little video sticker there. It says, what does that say? Standard video, AM 226185. Not sure. Probably some kind of vending company before it was sent out to West Virginia. There's some staples up here on the back. I'm guessing that must have been for tax stickers or something that are long gone. But overall, I mean, very happy with how this machine turned out. So I'm considering this one of the nicer restorations we've done. Not as nice as the Inferno, but nice nonetheless. Okay, it's gameplay time. So, Food Fight, I will say first, this machine, while it is in free play, is running the special Food Fight free play ROM hack. The original free play that Food Fight had did not go through the full attract mode. So we added that just to make things a little nicer and easier on the screen, to avoid burning. So we get this nice and very loud animation. But yeah, introducing Oscar, Angelo, Jacques, and Zorba, the chefs, starring Charlie Chuck. So, all right, you want to do a two-player?
Yeah.
Let's do it. So to start at the beginning, you can select different levels, but it doesn't actually give you a point bonus for doing so. So I always just start at the first level.
What's the reason? If you're bored?
I guess you're bored, because the levels start off very slow, like you can see here. So the P's are kind of like shotgun.
Slow for you, Liam.
They have some spread to them, which makes them probably my favorite food to use. A little point pressing here.
Yeah.
So when you hear that sound, that's time to go for the ice cream cone, otherwise it's going to melt.
Wow, you're really so risky.
Yeah, I actually die on that level, I think, more than any of the other ones in the first 5, because I'm so greedy.
Yeah, and then, as you saw, you're able to take the food between levels.
Yeah, you can't bring the last thing you picked up. Am I going to go for it? Yes, but I am not going to continue to throw it. I'm going to go to the next level.
I really like its face after it eats the ice cream. It looks very, mischievous and satisfied.
Yeah, if you do get close calls, you get an instant replay. I don't know if we'll get one on this run, though. It's usually if a chef misses you with food, you get the instant replay. But the objective is not to have those close calls.
And now, dear watcher, you get to see me fail. Fucking hell. Okay, I hate this joystick. I don't know. I just feel like I hate that you're controlling where you're pointing and you're controlling where you're moving with the same joystick. I think it should be illegal, and because I never pointed the right way, I can't throw the food. This is not my fault. I'm bad, okay? So I guess it is my fault, but I don't I've ever gotten this far on a first life. So I might have to put my high score in. No, don't hit me. Shoot. No. No.
Run for the
Yes. Wait, I'm doing so good. I made it to the water now. I don't think I've ever made it this far. Oh my god. High score for Sam. I swear I do better when we're in a competition or we're taking video. I think my brain is like, okay, Sam, get serious. Don't play around. Because I haven't played this game that much. I've watched you play it.
Yeah. You went further than me on that level.
Wow, I got those points though. I wasn't quite mining. I just... Yeah, I think if it was more like Voltron, I would be better at it and might like it more.
Yeah. Well, let's see if I can point press a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, the watermelons are limited. What the heck? We're just eating watermelons everywhere.
Yeah.
Do you know the precise time when it beeps?
Oh, there we go. Instant replay.
Yay!
So the music is timed to end at the very end of the replay. It's very cleverly timed. And this is the first game to introduce the instant replay feature.
Any other arcade games, like classic arcade games, have an instant replay?
No. Not that I'm aware of anyway, not classic ones. Maybe like 90s. But Food Fight came out in pretty much the end of the golden era. Since they created it. Oh, going for
Nice
that.
job.
Have some pies.
Oh, good job.
They can hit each other,
Really?
which is hysterical.
Will they kill each other?
Yeah, they will kill each other
Ooh.
if you dodge them.
Do they try to avoid falling in the pits, or do they die?
I'm not sure.
They just fell a lot.
I think you're supposed to be able to trick them into going into the pits.
Nice.
I want some food to take to the next level.
So do you think it makes more sense, like, do you only point mine the
watermelon.
first level because it's easier?
Yeah, I don't try to
Or do you
point
get
mine later, except for watermelon levels.
I'm just mindful of not dying. That's...
Because the more chefs you hit, the more points you get.
Oh, I see.
I just died there, but...
Watermelon! Wow!
Oh, you got...
I got instant replay! Oh, this is amazing! Wow.
You slapped that guy with a watermelon.
Yeah, that's how it's done. Bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. Oh, no. Sad. So many bananas.
Oh, I need to get that watermelon on the other side.
You got it. Oh, no.
Did not got it. The closer the watermelon is to the ice cream cone, the easier it is to point mine.
Nice. I just ran right into that guy.
Yep.
Oh, sad. Still, high score! Gotta love it.
Alright, this is, no. So you use the analog joystick to enter your score.
The nice thing is, even if I don't have the high score, because you have most of the high scores, I usually have the second highest score. Because I play all the games with you.
Yeah.
And other people don't play every game.
And that was Food Fight. So, I like it. What'd you think?
I love that you love it so much, honey.
So that's a hard pass.
And I mean, I think we both need the games that we want in our arcade, and a vote from you that wants it in this arcade counts as a vote for both of us. But
what
I
I'm
think
hearing is skill issue.
Okay, that's rude. I don't think it's very fun to play, so I don't attempt to get better. Issue. I could probably get better. I just don't know what about it. It doesn't tickle my fancy. I'm also, I think, a little offended by it because although you did an expertly great job making the side art look great, it's blocking the best side art in the arcade, which is Centipede, in my opinion. And so, a little salty about that. But at least I could play my beloved Centipede right next to you playing Food Fight, and then I don't even have to play it.
Yeah.
I can just look at it, admire it.
I really do think that Food Fight would have been better as a twin stick game, like Robotron, where you could move with one stick and fire with the other.
I think I am very bad at firing, and I think that is why I don't... I can't kill the chefs, okay? They always kill me. It's not fun when you die.
Yeah.
But
no,
yes, I think it's very pretty.
It came out great. I'm super pleased, and I really wanted. We went into this raid knowing that we'd probably keep one game out of it, and I'm really glad that it's Food Fight. I think it's a great game that we totally would not have bought a Food Fight at the price they go for.
No.
I don't think the fun factor is that high, but I very much enjoy Food Fight having it for what we ultimately paid to restore it. So I think I'm pretty happy with it as it is. The only thing that I might want to change at some point is the marquee.
Guys, don't you see? It's glaring. It's glaring. These dots. How can you even handle it? I don't know.
It's got some flaking in it that I don't like. And when you turn on, it's pretty evident, but, I'm a little salty.
My honey only gets the best.
Well, I mean, I'm just a little salty, but it'll get fixed eventually.
What if we, just custom in each of the dots, but the color it's supposed to be?
Maybe. It's worth trying.
I don't know.
But
maybe like a paint pen.
Ultimately, it came out great. I'm just happy with it, so. It's
for sure, night and day from when we got it.
So.
Because before, it's not allowed in the house.
Oh, yeah, no.
And now it's in the house.
Before we could bring it in, Sam's like, no. You need to pre-clean that thing out in the driveway and vacuum it out before it even comes in the garage. It is not allowed in the house with whatever 20 years of animal detritus is sitting on that control panel.
Who knows what could have happened? It was so many years.
But it cleaned up nice, so.
No, it's again, you couldn't, if I had no idea where we got it, there's no way you could convince me you got it from the kind of place we got it. Because you did such a great job, Liam, making it so beautiful.
So this is definitely going to be a long-term keeper for us. So we're hoping that when people come by, they'll get a chance to play Food Fight for themselves and see whether or not they like it nearly as much as I do, or if they're in Sam's camp. So
we could have a tally.
A tally. Yeah, no, I have noticed a common complaint of
add it to the website. We don't have a voting feature for games.
Ooh.
Wait, that would be so much fun.
You know what? I will add that to the website. Yeah. That is totally not for public consumption yet that I have been building.
A little sneak peek.
Sneak peek into my future plans.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that was the story of Food Fight. So thank you guys so much for watching. I know it's been a long one. So like and subscribe, I guess.
Like and subscribe!
And we'll see you next time, whenever that will be.